Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for this short presentation to inform you of the key capabilities of GoldMine. And today I'm going to focus especially on the GM+View tab, as it's called. Now, one of the reasons for running these short presentations on a regular basis is that when I meet with GoldMine users, talk with GoldMine users, I sometimes find they're not aware of all of the capabilities of GoldMine, and that's especially true of the GM+View tab. You might have seen it before, might not know what it actually does and what its true capabilities are, the extent of its capabilities. So the whole idea about this presentation is to make you aware of this and show you all the key features and perhaps allude to how some other organizations are using that particular feature of GoldMine. Now, this presentation, as I said already, it will be quite short, about 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so duration tops. So this is just an overview of this feature. It's not meant to be training. We do provide extensive training and help and guidance on this feature, so this is not training. Also on the call today, we've got a number of different people. There's about 70 or so people attending the call this morning. And looking down the list of names, I can recognize a few of them, and you're all on sort of different versions, releases of GoldMine. I will, of course, be showing you the latest version, but the GM+View tab feature has been in all recent releases of GoldMine since, I think, version 6, so quite some time. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. So you can hear me, of course. I can't hear you. Don't worry about any background noises your end. If you've got any questions, as you think of those, you might have seen the little questions section on your meeting control panel might be lurking in the top right corner of your screen there. Pop those in as you think of them, and I'll have a little Q&A session towards the end very shortly, and I'll do my best to go through those. I'll just give out your first name, by the way, to protect your identity, and I'll do my best to answer this question as best I can. Also, the session is being recorded. After the presentation, you will receive an automatic email from our system with a link to recording, and you can share that with your colleagues and go over that presentation again. And I'll also put up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started then. Just a very quick mention about my company, Wizard Systems. We're based in the UK in Bristol. We're one of the top suppliers of GoldMine worldwide. We've been doing it a long time, well over 22 years now. We've implemented well over 3,000 GoldMine installations in all sorts of different types of companies. And we can provide all sorts of different services for you as regards setup help, consultancy, training, and all the ongoing support as well. Now, the GM+View tab, that's what we're here this morning to go over. So this is included with all latest releases of GoldMine. You should have it there somewhere. It is possible to disable it from your screen, but it can be easily put back if you can't see it there. But essentially, think of it like a web page within GoldMine. And almost anything you can do with a web page, you can do with this GM+View tab. Essentially, there are some sample views that come with GoldMine, by the way, particularly as regards integration with social networking applications. This was available in some recent releases of GoldMine. But essentially, you can access any data in GoldMine and also potentially data outside of GoldMine, which I'll go through in my demonstration now. Okay, so let me just pop into our GoldMine system here. So here we are, GoldMine Premium Edition. This is release 2015, but you'll probably recognize it, whatever release of GoldMine you're on there, in that we've got our top half of the screen showing us key contact information. And then running across the tab bar across the middle, one of those tabs is called this GM+View tab. And from here, you can, in the top right corner, you've got a little drop-down list to access those different views. You can also right click on this screen as well to display those different views. It's also possible to display it as one of the tabs running across the top here as well, whichever is your preference. So I'll just go through a few examples of how this could be used and how other companies are using it, and other GM+View tabs that Wizard Systems have implemented within our clients. To start with, a pretty obvious one is a company's website. So we've got the company website here maintained in the contact record. So whenever you dive into a client's record, you can access their website straight away. Of course, you can access this outside of GoldMine, but the whole point is you want to try and make life easy for yourself and your colleagues. So having it there right in front of you, almost as if it's part of GoldMine. So there's a very basic example there. Now, as I said just a little while back, with later releases of GoldMine included some sample screens to allow you to access various social networking sites, mainly Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and a little bit of Google. So I'll just go through a few examples of these. So this is provided with GoldMine. It does need a little bit of minor setup, and these views can be enhanced by yourselves as well, but these are the basic ones that come with GoldMine. Just go through a few of them with you. So let's, for example, do a Facebook contact search. We've got our contact here, Tim Wilmot. Let's do a Facebook contact search. So this will access Facebook and give you all of the Tim Wilmots there and information around Tim Wilmot. Maybe we might know of this customer. If we know their Facebook ID, then it is possible there are some fields that you can easily set up in your GoldMine system that allow you to reference this particular person's profile. So I could go now go to my Facebook profile screen, and this will show you that particular Facebook ID, in this case a company page. It could be an individual page, whatever you want it to be. So that's a little bit of Facebook there. We could then go in to do maybe a Google company search. Maybe this is, you've just taken a new lead, you filled in their company details, that's entered into GoldMine, and then you want to do a little quick search there. So this could immediately, maybe as you're phoning the client on that first call, this could give you a little bit of background information to the client in an easier fashion than having to dive off and do a Google search for it. A few more social networking things. So let's go through LinkedIn. I'm sure a lot of people will be using LinkedIn, particularly in a B2B environment. So let's do a LinkedIn contact search. So again, imagine this is a new lead and we've got the details of the person. So we want to do a little bit of a lookup there in LinkedIn to see what their professional profile is. So there we are, Tim Wilmot, and there might be a few other Tim Wilmots there lurking around. Again, like Facebook, if we've got that person's LinkedIn profile, we can pop that number in there. It's normally at least, I think it's about 8 digits or so with LinkedIn. Pop in there, LinkedIn ID, and then we could go to, in a similar way to Facebook profile, we've got LinkedIn profile. Again, this is another screen that's provided by GoldMine. And there we are, we can access them and all the information about them. Twitter, let's not forget Twitter. So if I do, say, a Twitter company search, there we are. It's going to take Wizard Systems there. And there we are. We found Wizard Systems and we can scroll through all of their various tweets. Or maybe a Twitter contact search. Maybe you're more focused on individuals rather than companies. So you could do a similar contact search here. And there we are, finding Tim Wilmot or whatever it might be. Now, some other things that we have created or other companies have created. One nice one is accessing an external company research tool called Doodle. Some of you might be familiar with this. It's a free tool. and this allows you to access company information. So we've got our company name there, and we're doing a search through all of the different wizard systems there. We see we're not the only one. There's a few other related wizard systems there, and you can dive into their records and get more background information on that company, financial status, names of directors, and also diving out into their LinkedIn profiles as well. It's quite a nice sort of integration with LinkedIn there. So that's Doodle. We could provide that for you if you want to. If you've got a support contract with Wizard Systems, we'd be more than happy in providing that Doodle for you. Just drop me a line and we'll send you that Doodle screen. What other ones can I show you? How about this one here called Sage? Is anyone out there using Sage 50 or Sage 200? Or this could be, I mean, this example this could be used with almost any other accounting or ERP application. So we're maintaining within the client's record their customer ID number in the accounting system. It might be a supplier reference. Maybe we're diving into the purchase ledger here. But we see summarized on that GM+View tab some header information about this client. So what's the balance on the account? What's the credit limit? What's the turnover? Sales year to date? The balance on the account split over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days plus, and so on. And then maybe showing individual transactions. And this being a web page, we could drill down into these actual transactions here. There could be a little hyperlink on the actual transaction ID so that we could then drill into the transaction line item details if we wanted to. So that's an example of one that we've created, Wizard Systems have created for Sage 50 or Sage 200. We have also created one for a very popular sales quote tool called Quoteworks. Now, Quoteworks is a very popular sales quote system, but you may not have all of your GoldMine users using Quoteworks. So you want to try and share that quote information with your colleagues. So here we can see this GM+View tab displaying line by line, row by row, all of the quotes. These are physical files, physical quotes stored in this other application. And in this example here, we've got a quick link. Because this Quoteworks application, it stores these separate quotes as a PDF file. We could dive in and we could click on that PDF file and view that quote there directly from that GM+View screen. So just an easy way of sharing physical files that may be stored on another application. This could be Explorer, it could be any application that stores files, maybe as a Word document or PDF file there. Another one that we've created is a GoldMine Archive view. We've sometimes found that if you've been using GoldMine a long time, and we've got some clients that have been using GoldMine, well, maybe a couple of decades, and they've been storing lots of emails there. These emails may take up some space, and potentially, if you've got millions of emails, they could have some impact on larger systems there. Not often, but it does sometimes happen. So we've developed a GoldMine Archive view whereby we work with you and decide what old history, what old emails do you want copied off into some other place. So these emails are physically on another server. They've been taken out of GoldMine, so not impacting the performance of GoldMine, and they're stored somewhere else on an SQL system. And we can view them here just by clicking them. We can view those emails there as if they were physically still in our GoldMine systems. That's an example of the GoldMine Archive view there. So there we are, a quick run through of typical uses there of the GM+View tab. As I say, this is just a short session, by no means going through the extent of that GM+View tab feature. You may have some other ideas yourself. But I'd now like to, as we commonly do on these weekly sessions, I now like to open out the session to any questions you may have. So just repeat, pop those questions into that little question section there. If you're watching this on some tablets or smartphones, I think it might be visible as a message section. It might not say the word question, but pop it in anyway. I should be able to locate it for you. So let me just read out these questions as we get them. So question from Shelley. How many social views or screens do you get with GoldMine? Shelley, I think it's about 15 or so, and they came out in certainly was version 9 of GoldMine going forwards, those social networking screens. Question from Justin. I saw a lead score field on your GoldMine screen. What is that? Let me just pop back into GoldMine. Lead score. Okay, so this is an example where we've got a little algorithm working in the background that's actually looking at this contact record and based on our criteria coming up with a percentage value, 0 through to 100, based on the quality of information that we've got. Have we got a job title? Have we got a phone number? Have we got a website address for them? Do we know what they do? How far in negotiation, how important is this client to us? Maybe we rank them as well, ABC, gold, silver, bronze, platinum, whatever. So they could all be added into the mix there to give us that lead score there, Justin. Okay, question from Darren. Are there any restrictions on what data you can link a GM+View screen to? Well, we haven't come across many restrictions. I guess if it's either a very secure application or the application is somewhere in some location where GoldMine or the GoldMine user can't see it, then that could be a restriction there, Darren. For example, I showed you a linking, the ability to link to Sage. Now, depending on your accounting system setup, a view like that may not be available to users outside of the office for obvious reasons. If you're publishing your accounting information via a web page, that could be, in certain situations, a bit of a loophole in your security. So there could be some situations, Darren, where there could be some restrictions there, but we haven't come across many that we haven't been able to get around there. Okay, question from Derek. Can you design your own GM+View screens? Yes, you can. Derek, you're asking what skills you need. Well, you need to know a little bit. You need to know, obviously, the structure of the application that you're accessing, and you do need to know a little bit about HTML, I would say, Derek. Wizard Systems, we do provide a complete consulting service on this, so we could either do the whole, if you've got an idea in mind, we could do the whole, you could commission the project to us and we would try and understand what you're trying to achieve there with that view or views, and we would give you a quotation for that. Or alternatively, if you want to do it yourself, do a DIY job, maybe we could provide you with some initial training on how you, if you've got some IT colleagues there, maybe we can give them some training. But certainly anyone that knows the other application, its database structures, particularly if we're accessing an accounting application, and knows HTML, they should be able to be fairly au fait with creating GM+Views. Does GM+View, question from Tony, does GM+View need setting up? I connect over a VPN and I'm still waiting for it to open after 20 minutes. Not sure, Tony, what might be the issue there. I'll take that offline if I may do, Tony, and I'll try and find out. Certainly, as you've seen with me, it's fairly instant, but I'm on an office network here. We do access GoldMine via via our terminal server here and using Go Global and various other options, and it's fairly fast as long as GoldMine can see that data. So maybe it's the actual view that you had there. It's the actual access to those views, Tony, is a bit of a sticky setting. So if you're accessing view XYZ when you next log into GoldMine and you click on that GM+View tab, it will try and access that tab there. So that might be the issue there as well. So I'll investigate that, Tony, after the call. Question from Reva: How would you look up other contacts from the same company, their Twitter, info, Facebook? Well, it might be possible to actually amend the standard Facebook Twitter view that we've got here. The ones that are supplied as standard with GoldMine are just focusing on the contact record and the company that you've got in the top half of the screen. But it is possible to change that. Do I have an example? Possibly this one here. This is a LinkedIn company and contact search. So it's basically taking data from somewhere on this contact record. Now in my example here, it is taking it from the top half of the screen, but it could be taking it from other tabs as well, maybe the additional contacts. So potentially, if GoldMine can see this other related data, that data could be passed over to the other application, namely Facebook or LinkedIn, and give us some kind of results there. Question from Andrew: what is involved in setting up the Quoteworks link? Andrew, Andrew, are you using Quoteworks? I can't see too much. I think, yes, you might be using Quoteworks. So I'll send you details, Andrew, after the call on what's involved in setting up the Quoteworks link there. Extremely useful if you've got lots of other users that don't have access to Quoteworks and they want to be able to see those links. So yeah, no problem, Andrew, thank you. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions coming through there. So it just remains for me to thank everyone for your time today. Thanks for your support and thanks for your interest in this webinar. We will be recording, we have recorded it, of course. You will be getting a link to that recording. Stay tuned for our next session next Tuesday. Not sure exactly what subject we're going to cover. Oh, if you've got any really good ideas for future little presentations like this, anything that you're querying or you don't know how to use that feature of GoldMine. As I say, it's not meant to be in-depth training, but it's meant to just try and show you the light and try and extend your knowledge of GoldMine's capabilities. So please, any good ideas there, feed them on through to me. Okay, thanks very much indeed, everyone. And we look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks very much indeed for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.